Hi guys, today we are going to be doing a technical drawing demonstration. I'm going to be demonstrating how to create a truncated octagonal pyramid, and in doing this, here's the demonstration. Here's what we are given, and I'm going to complete the plan. That's the first thing I'm going to do, and then the second thing, I'm going to create an auxiliary view looking in this direction. Sorry, can you see better now? This is the shape. I'm going to complete this plan, and then I'm going to create this elevation, and I'm going to create an auxiliary view looking in this direction. So let's get started. Okay. They didn't give us, the book never specified a height for our shape, so I'm going to give myself a height of roughly 95. We know that each side is 30 millimeters. Yep. And in creating this shape, I'm going to start off with the actual plan. That's the best thing to start off with. And the plan is an octagon, and to get this, we use our 45-degree set square. The baseline, we use the edge of the T-square, and we angle to get our 45-degree size, and we keep it straight to get our vertical lines. So this shape comprises of 4 diagonals, 2 vertical lines, and 2 horizontal lines. So we put in our third diagonal, our last diagonal, and then now our final line, which is a horizontal line. Good. In doing this, I like to connect the dots, connect the shape. I line it up with its opposite points, its diagonal opposite points, I should say. Now, so we've completed the shape. That's the shape there, the octagon, and now we are going to complete the elevation. In doing this, we need to project some lines from the shape up to the baseline. We project one of the vertical lines, project the other vertical line, the extreme vertical lines, and we project the point where the diagonal line meets the horizontal line. That goes up to that point, and that goes up. Now this gives us our points that we are going to project up to the apex. I said before we are going to be using a height of 90. Sorry if I said 95. I'm going to reduce it to 90. So these points all go up to the apex. There, a question asks of us to cut our slope at a height of 15 centimeters above baseline. So you indicate that point, and then we place in our slope. So that's our slope, that's our truncated edge. Now, we've gotten the completed plan, we've gotten the outline of the plan and the shape with its truncation points. So now we are going to highlight some important points which will help us to complete the plan. I'm highlighting points along the truncated cut. I just like to darken those points. So we call those 1, 2, 3, 4. At those four points, we send some lines in a downward vertical position. until they interact with the plan. So that's point 1 that goes down, point 2 goes down, point 3 goes down, and point 4 goes down. In doing this creates some points on the plan. I like to highlight these two. Now, on those points, we then are able to close the shape. Now, that's our plan completed for our truncated octagon. So at this stage, one thing we can do before we move on is we can actually just darken the shape. So I'm right now darkening the outline of the shape. I'm using a 5B pencil to darken. I usually use pencils ranging between 3 and 5 to darken. For this video I decided to use a 5. So I'm also darkening the diagonal points that actually connect to the truncated cut. And this. And there's one more thing to darken. It's the actual cut now. Alright, so that completes part 1, which is completing the plan of a truncated octagon. Now I'm going to darken the actual in elevation. In darkening and using darkening my baseline, I tend to go outside so I can allow the shape to be sitting down on something rather than just ending the darkening points directly at where the shape ends. So it gives the illusion that the shape is actually sitting down on land rather than just floating in midair. Right, now the last line is a truncated slope. So that's our shape there. Now we have to move on to creating our auxiliary view. Now In doing this, we are going to be projecting some lines downward at a 45-degree angle from our truncated slope. So I'm making sure I have the correct pencil. Yeah. So I'm projecting lines downward at the 4 points that I highlighted earlier. Actually, at this point, I like to introduce new points. So we have the 4 points, which are 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we are going to need other points. We are going to need a 5th point here, where the baseline hits, the 6th point on the base, the 7th, and the 8th point. And we are projecting these all downward at a 45-degree angle. I'm projecting points 4, points 3, points 2, and point 1. Now I'm going to project point 5, point 6 and point 1 are the same. Point 7 needs to be projected, and point 8 needs to be projected. Okay, good. So let me put the arrow to indicate where we are looking. We're looking in that direction. So that's the first thing. We've projected our lines downward. Now we need to take information from the plan. We've taken information in projecting the lines downward to create the grid. We need to take information from the plan and project in a perpendicular direction to create the rest of the grid. So in getting information from the plan, one thing that I like to do is just come off, probably about average out a centimeter, just draw a vertical line. Now what we're doing is we're attaching every point to this vertical line. So we start off at the bottom of the plan, and the horizontal line, we connect that to the vertical line. Come up. Where the diagonal line meets the vertical line on the plan, we connect that. We don't have to connect this point because these are all parallel. So I'm just connecting to get the basic shape. Okay. Now we got to create an axis. Saying that we have started using numbers, I'm going to use letters now on this axis. Let's call this our 0 line. From here we're going to go A, B, C, D. That's our basic primary lines, which will give us our shape. Now we are going to come back to the points on the plan which created the points of the truncation on the plan, which gives us the actual plan. So we call these the sub points. Now these were our primary points. We move on to the sub points. So the first one, as we start from the bottom and we go up. So we are A, B, C, D. We call this point E. And I'm going to label these points in capitals. F, G, H, I, J. That's our last point. Now, what we need to do is we need to represent this information on this axis. It's really easy. So I know from my 0 line, and for this I'm going to use my compass to get accuracy, and I'm plotting these points, or sorry, transferring these points. So the first thing I'm going to bring my compass in and get the exact distance between 0 and A. So satisfied I got that. Make a mark there, and I'm going to assume my 0 point to start giving myself some room. I'm going to start here. So that's my 0 point. So everything I'm going to be plotting is going to go downward. Alright. So that's 0. No, sorry. Let me connect my 0 back to my 0. This so no one will get any problems here. So I find my actual 0 point here, and I'm going to be drawing down my line diagonally. So this is my 0 point. It should be known as my info line. So I'm going to put info line. Info line, because that's where all my information is going to go. So I got the distance between 0 to A. Let's plot that. That's A. Let's go. Oh, you can go from 0 to B, or you can go from A to B. Doesn't really matter. But, just don't confuse yourself. I'm going to go from 0 to all my points so I don't confuse myself. So I'm going to go 0 to B. That's my second point. And we go 0 to C. So this is a long process, trying to get all these points. See? D. Right, D is our last point, our furthest point. So we know then that I can start putting in our basic lines so that we can see some progress. So the C line, the D line, the B line, and the A line is in. Now, we gotta put in our smaller points, our sub points. This is where I am going to go backward. So I'm going to measure my points from D. So this is D up to E. Remember, we are reflecting these bigger points, these smaller points with capitals. So that's E. Let's go and see how much it goes from E to F. Right, sorry, I'm taking my points from each other. I'm not referencing my points from any one point like what I did previously from 0. So that's the distance from E to F. That's F. That is a big F. Let's see the distance from F to G. G. H. 2 more points and then we can start plotting. seems to be a problem there. I'm just actually reviewing a few points before I go forward to make sure that they're all in place. Okay, good. From where I goes. G. All right. So I'm going to finish off my grid. So the J, the H, the I, the G, the F, and the E are in. So this is our grid. Just let me adjusting this, and I realized that it was out of focus. Yeah. So that's where our grid is. So now we are going to look to plot this. The first thing we should do is start with a plan. So we're going to start with a plan on our grid over here. So let's look for the A line. Our A line so we are corresponding our numbers and our letters. So we know A is supposed to connect with point, say 6. So A and point 6 there. So that's where that will be. And it also goes across to point 7. So that's where that will be. So then what else? B. B connects with point 3. And point 3 is here. And C connects with point 3 also. Yeah. You know D connects with point 6. So D, we're looking for 6, which is this point. Don't forget 6 and 1 are the same point. So you can actually label the points down here, the numbers. So this is 7th line. No. The 7th line is this line. Sorry. And that's the 8th line. Yeah, good. And that's the 3 line. So we continue now. So we're looking for D at the 7th line. Right here. It's very easy. So you've seen that now. Now we're going across back up to C. And we're looking for C on 8. So C on 8 will be here. Yeah. And we're looking for D. Sorry, B. B at 8. B at 8 would be here. So we have actually located our shape. We found our plan. So I can start putting the plan so that you guys can see how this is starting to shape up. I don't suggest putting the plan at this moment with a heavy pencil, because to create the final shape we are going to be working within the plan, so lines are going to get messy. So just identify where the plan is, where the perimeter is. That's what we're doing at this stage, just trying to find out where the plan finds himself or herself in this grid. Right, so that's the plan there, and don't forget that it's an auxiliary view, so it's going to look similar in terms of the amount of shapes, but the angle is going to be slightly different. So now after we found the plan, we're now looking for our cut. So let's look at point 4, which is supposed to be the highest point on our truncated shape, which is point 4. So let me zoom out now so you guys can see the full thing. Okay. So we're looking for point 4, which is right here. This is our highest point, and it's on this line. So what point we're looking for? We're looking for point 4 as it intersects with H and G. We know this is our H and G line here. So point 4 occupies this point and this point here. Yeah, which is seen here. So now we're looking for point 3. And point 3 also intersects with the I and the F. The I and the F. So I'm coming down through the lines as where point 3 hits I. Seen it? So I made a point there, and where it hits F. Seen it? Yeah, okay. So we come down, we're looking for point 2, as point 2 intersects at point J and point E. So this is the point 2 line here. So we say J. Yep, I found J. Come down. And I found E. Right. So we're now looking for our final point, point 1. And point 1 actually intersects at I and F. Point 1 is here at I. Yes, I've seen you. So that's you there. And F here. Okay, good now. So we got a series of dots once again. Now from these, we are going to connect these together, and that will give us how our truncation looks in an auxiliary view. Now, to bring our shape alive now, we need to connect the diagonals from the base to the truncated points. That's what's missing, from the base to the truncated points. So remember, each